Petroleum to start sharing the screen and also ask Syed to start the broadcasting. And let me know if it's ready. Just write in the chat so I can begin. Okay, great. So assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning from wherever you're joining us today. So it's a very good pleasure for us to welcome you for Saturday for SPE closing ceremony 3.0, which concludes about 5 weeks of intensive workshop and talks throughout our platform. So next. I'd like to introduce myself. So my name is Abdullah Al-Badawi. I'm a final year petroleum engineering student at Asia Pacific University. I come from the Comoros Island. For our Arabic
Recording
audience,
in progress.
I currently serve as the president of the SPE Asia Pacific University, and I'll be today's moderator for this session. Next. So for today's agenda, we'll start with the introduction to Saturday for SPE. What is this event about? And then we'll go to a summary of Saturday for SPE, what happened in the past 5 weeks. And then we'll move on to our first keynote speech, which will be presented by our vice chairperson from SPE Kuala Lumpur, TS Anwarudin Saidu Mohamed. And then we'll have our guest speaker, who is the Honorable Mr. Kamal bin Nasser, who is the SPE 2022 president. We'll move on to a session on diversity and inclusion. So I know most of us were very new to DNI. We don't know what they do. So today we have the D&I chair for the past year, 2020 to 2021, will be enlightening us on what they do and why we should join it, why we should be concerned. Finally, we'll have the vote of thanks from T.S. Harvin, who is the SPE Asia Pacific University faculty advisor. In between, we'll have 2 photo sessions, one with our guests before they leave the audience, and one final one after the event is over. So with that, I would like to remind everyone to take their seat properly, to sit on a very good position for the session. Thank you very much. Next. So what is Saturday for SPE? So Saturday for SPE is an event that started back in 2020 at Asia Pacific University. We came to a realization after we got established in 2020 that we were lacking technical events and we didn't know how to keep our members engaged. So we came up with this event, Saturday for SPE, and since last year, it is our flagship event, and this is the 3rd installment. So Saturday for SPE is simply the flagship event of the Society of Petroleum Engineers at Asia Pacific University in Malaysia. Next. So in the time of pandemic, we wanted, as I said, to promote interaction between the student and also to start something for ourselves. So our mission and vision was to promote global exchange of ideas, knowledge, and expertise between our student members, but also with people from all over the world who are in different places. We wanted to bring together different SPE chapters and section to events like this where we could share and know each other from different parts of the world. We also wanted to equip our audience, members, participants with the necessary skills to cope with our evolving industry. We're in the energy transition. We think that it's a very exciting time to be part of the industry. So we thought that why not create a networking platform between all SPE organizations and for us to network together. Next. So this year's Saturday for SPE 3.0 is brought to you by Asia Pacific University, co-organized by SPE Kuala Lumpur Young Professionals. In collaboration, we have the SPE IPS Indian Institute of Technology, which is IIT-ISM in Dhanabad. We have Imperial College in London. We have SPE North Emirates Section in the Emirates. We have the University of Aberdeen in the United Kingdom. We have University UPES, University of Petroleum Energy Studies from India also. We have University of Nigeria in Nsukka, which is also in Nigeria. We have Institute of Technology Sepuluh November from Indonesia, University Islamic Riau in Indonesia, and finally Sultan Qaboos University from Oman. So in total, we have 8 student chapters. We have also 2 sections supporting us, which is SPE Kuala Lumpur as our main supporter, followed by SPE North Emirates. Next. So with that, I would like to pass the floor to my colleague, fellow energy leader for tomorrow, Hazik, to present the summary of Saturday for SPE 3.0. Hazik, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks, Abdullah. So yeah, again, I'm Hazik, the Assistant Project Director for the Saturday for SPE 3.0 program, and I'm from the SPE Kuala Lumpur Young Professionals team. So these 5 Saturdays and also the weeks that preceded it when we did our preparation, I'd say it has been a really long journey, which brought together all of the organizing chapters as well as the regional sections, and we've all walked this path together. And along the way, we made many memories, and indeed, we learned a lot, not only from the speakers that we invited, but also from each other in the way that we do things. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and we've finally reached the end of our program, which is today's closing ceremony. But before we close out, let's just take a step back and recall and appreciate some of the each individual Saturday, as well as the speakers that took part in this program. Could we have the next slide, please? Okay, so just starting off with our first Saturday. So this took place on the 4th of September. And in this session, we got to see a glimpse into the fourth industrial revolution as technologist Ikmal Irshad, who is a data scientist from the Petronas Digital Group, walked us through the application of data analytics in the oil and gas industry. And we followed that up with a really exciting forum between the Chief Executive Officer of Step Change Global Limited, Dr. Tony Edwards, as well as Zamri Ghani, who is the Senior General Manager of the Integrity, Value and Assurance Group in Petronas. So they engaged in a really exciting dialogue on digital and remote platform operations in oil and gas industry, which included some of the challenges as well as opportunities that we could explore in this area. Could we have the next slide? All right, for the second Saturday, we got to see some of the industry's really cutting-edge reservoir simulator, which is the CMG simulation. So Mohamed Al-Farsi, who is a reservoir simulation engineer from CMG, walked us through some of the basics of reservoir simulation, including what kind of value add it can provide, and some of the special usage cases, which include CCS as well as unconventional applications. He even gave us a brief walkthrough of setting up the simulation in CMG software. To close off that second Saturday, we had Saif Al-Mamari, who is a petroleum economist from OQ, gave us a big picture review of the petroleum economics as well as the impact on project execution and operation. All right, next slide. The third Saturday was probably our most popular session, the most popular week. So we had Schlumberger's Asia Pacific Talent Acquisition Manager, Han Jim Chua, go through a very hands-on session, which was very popular with the students, about how to power up the CV. We really got to pick his brain and see the inside of a HR manager's mind, what he would think when he sees a new CV. So he gave us a lot of great tips, and students really got to learn a lot from this session. We followed that up with a talk on the energy transition by Suhail Diaz, who is a senior consultant at Hartree Consulting in the Middle East. We learned about the efforts to achieve net zero, a bit about climate change, and how the energy mix will continue to shift in the years to come. All right, next slide. And to close off the Saturdays with the fourth Saturday, we had an interactive session on entrepreneurship in the oil and gas industry by Rafiq Lazar, who is the founder of GeoModel International based in Dubai. You know, it was a really insightful session. We got to hear about some of the struggles behind innovating as well as selling the product and service in a very saturated and competitive market. And he gave us tips on how we could identify what segment of the market that we could potentially enter and innovate in. We finished off this week with a talk from Dr. Luigi Saputelli, who is the reservoir engineering expert advisor at Front Ender Corporation. So he explained to us the industry's approach to CCUS, what kind of challenges are involved in this field, and defined 2 phases that we need to go through as an industry to really achieve net zero. All right, next slide. So to cap it off, here are some of the numbers from our event. I'd say it was a truly global event since we had 1,238 registrations, 708 YouTube views, and 589 Zoom views across 28 different countries for all of our events. This was brought to you by 11 collaborating chapters and sections, and we organized a total of 690 minutes of content with 15 esteemed speakers, which took over 400 total man-hours to organize. And I'd like to take this opportunity to once again thank our esteemed speakers, as well as our committee members who have really put in a lot of work to make this event a success. All right, next slide. So just to show a little bit about who our team members are, again, I'd like to thank each of our lead team. So we have our advisors, our project leads, our secretaries, the marketing team, some support from the North Emirates Section, our media team, and our technical team as well. Okay, next. All right, and also not to forget the leads for our technical talks and workshop, as well as the committee members of each of our 4 Saturdays in which we had our event. Okay, thank you. So now I'd like to pass the floor back to Abdullah to show us the video presentation that we prepared.
Thank you very much, Haziq. As you also, this is a truly global event, and we would like to thank our partners, especially SPE Kuala Lumpur and our collaborators, for coming up with such, giving us such opportunities to reach the industry and having very much support from the industry for this event. Right now, I'd like us to present, to meet the people virtually, as we're in a virtual event. We prepared a small video for audience to see the people behind the scene. Mariam, please play next and the video. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Abdullah Al-Badawi. I come from the Comoros Island, president at SPE Asia Pacific University. We're very proud to host Saturday for SPE. We are SPE.
Hi there, my name is Fatin Fariha and I'm from SPE Kuala Lumpur Young Professionals. SPE rocks! Terima kasih! Bye-bye!
Hi, my name is Adrian Saputra. I'm from SPE URC Indonesia with our tagline SPE URC, we are SPE and responsible to advance. Terima kasih.
Hi there, my name is Amir Basli and I am from SPE Kuala Lumpur Section Malaysia, giving a shout out #WeAreSPE. Yeah!
Hi, my name is Mohamed from SPE UIR SE Indonesia. Our slogan is responsible to advance. Terima kasih.
Hi, I'm Glory Ujujuku Almanife from the SPE University of Nigeria Nsukka Student Chapter. SPE rocks! Dalu.
Hi, I'm Ibrahim Shivani. I come from Libya and I am the Vice President at SPE ABU Student Chapter. We are glad to be hosting Saturday for SPE, and SPE is keeping on sharing knowledge. Shukran.
Hello, my name is Liam Lim and I am from the SPE Kuala Lumpur Section Young Professionals in Malaysia. And I'm proud to be part of the SPE global community. Terima kasih.
Hi, my name is Mabel and I'm from SPE YP Kuala Lumpur.
Hello, my name is Mohamed and I'm from Turkmenistan representing SPE Society Student Chapter. We are SPE. Spasiba.
Hi everyone, my name is Mohamed Jihan and I'm from SPE KL. I'm proud to be part of SPE and keep up the good work. Terima kasih.
Hello SPE engineers, this is Rahmi and I'm from SPE URSC, Riau, Indonesia, and our slogan is responsible to advance. Nice to meet you all.
Hi, I'm Jen from SPE ITSSC Indonesia and together, let's lead the change. Terima kasih.
Hello everyone, I'm Alin from SPE TSSC Indonesia. Let's lead the change. Matur nuwun.
Hi, I'm Lutfi from SPE TSSC Indonesia. Let's lead the change. Hatur nuhun.
Hi everyone, I'm Dafa from SPE TSSC Indonesia. Let's lead the change. Terima kasih.
Hello, my name is Radia from SPE Institute Teknologi 10 November Student Chapter. SPE Lead the Change. Matur nuwun.
Hi there, I'm Haziq from SPE KL and SPE rocks. Terima kasih.
Hi, I am Sonia Yenike. I'm from University of Nigeria Student Chapter. I am from Nigeria, SPE rocks. Dalu.
Hello everyone, I'm Aisa Tarkhini from SPE University of Aberdeen Student Chapter and SPE rocks. Spasiba, shukran.
Hi, it's Mariam from Morocco representing SPE APU Student Chapter and together for SPE. Shukran.
Hi, I'm Lita. I'm from SPU IRS Indonesia and our slogan is responsible to advance. Terima kasih.
Greetings to one and all. My name is Shantan Shivam Chakrabarti and I'm currently working as the president of the UPS SPE Student Chapter from India. We are ecstatic to present Saturday for SPE to all of you and we believe that SPE is for everyone. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Daniel Joel Gray. I am from Freetown, Sierra Leone. I serve as the secretary of SPE APU Student Chapter. We are SPE.
Hi, my name is Shalita and I'm from SPE ITS Student Chapter Indonesia. SPE rocks. Terima kasih.
Hi guys, Amma here, giving a shout out for S4SPE event. #SPE rocks. Terima kasih.
Hello everyone, I'm Leonard Chu from SPE Herawat University, Malaysia. The change starts from you.
Hi there, I'm Josephine Nada, President for the Saidu of Petroleum Engineers, University of Nigeria Chapter Nsukka. We are indeed glad to be part of the collaboration for Saturday for SPE. Dalu.
Hi, my name is Amin Farhan. I'm from SPE KL. We are SPE. Terima kasih.
Namaste, I am Adhik Agarwal from India. I am Chapter Officer at SPE IIT ISM Dhanbad Student Chapter. SPE rocks. Dhanyawad.
Hello everyone, my name is Lo Minghao. I'm from SPE Kuala Lumpur Section. Hope you enjoyed the event. 谢谢.
Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the series. Terima kasih dan jumpa lagi di masa hadapan. Bye.
Thank you very much for the video, and thank you for the media team for compiling all this. It surely was not an easy task to compile everything. Would like again to thank our diverse team from all over the world who came together to organize Saturday for SPE. Next. Without taking much time, I would like to introduce, to start our keynote speeches. We'll start with the keynote speech number 1. Next. So today's keynote speech number 1 will be delivered by Mr. Anwarudin Saidu Mohamed. He is the CTO of Reservoir Link Energy Berhad. So Mr. Anwar is the CTO of Reservoir Link Energy Berhad, founder of Koperasi Tenaga and Petroleum Berhad, and a board member of the Yayasan University Technology Petronas. Mr. Anwar holds a degree in mechanical engineering from UTP and MSc in petroleum engineering at Imperial College London. Additionally, his career history is filled with expertise and field experience. Mr. Anwar started as a project engineer at Petronas, then an operation engineer, application engineer, field service coordinator at BHI, thenceforward head of technical services to a general manager at Petroleum Chemicals Southern Berhad. Mr. Anwar holds many awards. He's very active in SPE, and I've witnessed it within my time in Malaysia. He won the Outstanding Regional Award, Public Service Award for SPE Asia Pacific Region in 2020. And he's also the recipient of the Outstanding Regional Award, Production Operation for SPE Asia Pacific University. So without further ado, allow me to welcome Mr. Anwarudin. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you, Abdullah. You know, one of the good things about not having hair is many people often at the beginning misunderstand me that I'm the student. That is a privilege, actually. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Abdullah. Yeah, my heartiest welcome to Mr. Kamal, the 2022 president of SPE, and esteemed speaker of today on a very important topic of our era, Zahraa Alkalby. Welcome. She is also the D&I chair for 2020-2021. All the speakers throughout the SPE, Saturday for SPE program 4.0, and all committee members, my beloved committee members and comrades of the program all over the world, who most of you appeared in the video, and also all the esteemed audience who tune in today to make some of your time and marking the temporary end of such a noble program, Saturday for SPE season 3.0. It indeed very encouraging to have both Professor Tom, the current president, during the opening ceremony not long ago, and also Mr. Kamal yourself as an incoming president in our program. Thank you very much. I really thank your time today. SPE, as it was found in AIME, the American Institute of Mining Engineers, almost over 100 years ago, I believe still keeping the tradition and purpose intact, which is to empower the community and elevate the competency and professionalism and conscientiousness among the patrons of the industry, which reflect our role to the society and environment apart from economic development alone. Our DNA was very clear with a conscious mind related to volunteerism, recognition, and technical prowess is at what we do at best. In SPE KL section, we uphold these traditions, values, and the need of the members to be congruent in our time to address various challenges of global transformation and aspiration of our community. So we need a more inclusive and at the same time diverse competencies. And that means we can no longer just afford to just focus on our core competencies alone. The need to be sensitive to community needs, public concern, and environmental responsibility is so pressing and vital. We need to be known as not only the provider of affordable energy, but also a group of people who are conscious about the earth and environment and operate responsibly. Hence, we need to develop future leaders and caliber like all of you to adequately address and ensure that we are congruent in development towards low carbon, low emission, and more safer industry. This is by far the greatest responsibility to be shouldered by the future leaders like yourself. I mean, I'm sure that I'm still young, so I have to shoulder the responsibility too. So at KL section, almost 70% of the members are students and YPs. This is in fact very much resonate to the desire that we all have in that section. I just would like to quote once the President of India, A.K. Kalam. I've quoted this in many of my forums, address the youth as the most powerful resources, not the petroleum, not the nuclear power, but the youth being the most powerful resources on the earth. Indeed, it's a testimony to this statement. The youth today, the future leaders of tomorrow, are a lot more conscious, vigilant, and have desires of esteem Yeah. Saturday for SPE fits so well in this context to connect all of us for a common goal and aspiration. And Haziq has mentioned all the important indices, statistics. For me, looking at all of you, the committee, I think about 30 of you with different diversity, language, culture, background, all of you to come together to have this common goal is actually the success of this program. Yeah. And I have no doubt that as for SPE 3.0 or similar events have a great contribution to this agenda by achieving unity in diversity and to be able to shape a more sustainable future for all of us. So life is what we encounter, but future is what we can build together. So I congratulate SPE KL Section, YP, and APU who championed SPE 4.0, SPE Saturday for SPE 3.0 for this season, and also all the collaborating section. Without, if I possibly can mention all of you, but I think that's already said by Haziq around the world. You guys and girls, or you folks are really awesome, and I'm so grateful to be affiliated with SPE for almost 18 years now. And I gained so much, and I hope I've given some back to the people like yourself. And this is the tradition that we need to continue. And my sincere wishes to all of you to have exciting journey in SPE in years to come. And I'm glad and honored to be a part of the S4 SPE 3.0 and to work with all of you. I'm so looking forward for any future opportunities to spend my time and resources for common good with all of you. May God bless all of us. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay energetic, and stay fulfilled. Thank you, Abdullah. I pass the floor back to you.
Terima kasih, Mr. Anwar. Thank you very much for your support throughout the event and for your speech. It was a very touching one because I think you're one of the people who know how this event takes so much time and so much effort from all parties. Mariam, next. So right now, I'd like to invite our guest speaker, who is the keynote number 2, who is also the SPE 2022 president. Mariam, next. So allow me to introduce to you Mr. Kamel Ben Nasser. So Mr. Kamel Ben Nasser is the 2022 SPE president. He previously served as technical director for managing and information on the SPE board of directors. He's the chief executive officer of Nomadia Consulting Energy, and previously he was the chief economist with the ADNOC Group based in Abu Dhabi. He has more than 35 years of experience in the oil and gas industry, and prior to taking the position with ADNOC in 2017, he was Director of Sustainable Energy Policies Technology with the IEA, which is the International Energy Agency. Before that, he was the Minister of Energy, Industry and Mines for the government of Tunisia. Mr. Ben Nasser held several positions as Schlumberger, including Chief Economist, Vice President of Technology, and Vice President of CO2 Solutions and Services. He's an author or co-author of about 15 books and more than 120 articles. Mr. Ben Nasser received degrees from École Polytechnique in France and École Normale Supérieure with an aggregation with mathematics. Mr. Ben Nasser, vous êtes la bienvenue.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Assalamu alaikum. Salamat. It's events like this that really make you proud to be part of the SPE. And I want to congratulate all of you for the incredible talent that has been put together in these events. The variety of topics is really outstanding. So congratulations to all of you. I'm going to share a few slides, if I may. Let me just... but I think we need to unshare the screen. Yeah,
you can share it, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I have put this year's presidency under the theme of sustainable recovery. And I will explain in a second why. As we all know, the 2019-2020 downturn was the most severe in its industry, in its history. We have seen downturns in the past, but not to the extent that we have seen it last year. The other thing is that it has followed another down cycle only 4 years before, in the 2015-2016, where we saw a major activity decrease. So for the SPE, it was also very tough because we did not have the financial revenues that would support all the activities. We have adapted to the virtual mode, and thanks to the great work of the staff and the volunteers. And I want to express my appreciation to the SPE sections and chapter for having managed to keep doing what they do best, which is providing information to our members and student members. In terms of recovery, there are still uncertainties, but also there are hopes. Yesterday, there was the announcement that after the vaccines, we may have some medication that could be effective against the virus to treat it with a lower cost than the previous treatments. In terms of activity, which is very important because that is driving the employment, we should see a 10 to 12% activity surge, but we have to put it in relation with a 30% reduction in the previous year. From the SPE, we are seeing a gradual restart of the in-person events, whether it's hybrid or the physical. And we just had the ATC last week, and I was very pleased to see many of the colleagues that are on the call today. Another important event that will be happening in exactly 1 month is the COP26 in Glasgow, and it's an important landmark for sustainability. So, sustainable recovery, if we look at it today, SPE or the oil and gas industry represents 56% of the primary energy mix, and it's fueling the world. Without the oil and gas, we would not be able to move people around. We will not be able to produce the chemicals that have been extremely important in fighting the pandemic and also helping in the hospitals to take care of those who needed care. If we look at the scenarios going into the future, there are many scenarios, and we have seen recently the net zero emission scenario. I call them extreme decarbonization scenarios. But even in those cases, oil and gas and the skills that represent oil and gas will be extremely important. We will see a ramp up of technology like CCUS, and you had a presentation, I think, in a previous event with Luigi Saputelli on CCUS, hydrogen, energy efficiency, and digitalization. This, even the extreme decarbonization scenario will require subsurface practitioners with additional skills that I will describe. And we also have to learn from the pandemic crisis. The SPE, while it has adapted to virtual meetings, is still looking for a sustainable business model that would allow it to remain financially healthy. So let me step back about 3 years ago when we had the SPE strategic plan. And if I look at it in terms of what it says, we're saying that the SPE programs will be relevant, forward-thinking, and will embrace the full range of technical and functional competencies. And SPE will support our industry to attract the best and brightest talent who want to be part of a thriving, global, technologically advanced community. So I'm very pleased to see in this webinar and conference many of those bright and best talent in our industry for today and for tomorrow. I want to borrow a slide from previous President Sami Al-Nuaim about the oil and gas sustainability model. Between what we had in the past, which is the image of the oil and gas industry, where many people did not recognize our impact on the world's economic development, but had perhaps a more biased view with environmental accidents and so on. What we want to do is, thanks to high investment, R&D, exploration, change our image in terms of technology, in terms of economic impact, HSNE, environmental protection, and social development. And many of the people that are in the webinar today are very actively contributing. And the end result will be the future oil and gas industry image where cleaner oil and gas energy sources, where we will reduce the amount of emissions and we will reduce the amount of flaring. Excuse me? Hello? Yeah. And so with this, in this future, we will see more and more oil and gas energy sources that are complemented with renewables. In the Middle East region, we have seen a wonderful example where we were using solar energy to fuel steam that was used for enhanced oil recovery. So in terms of initiative, the SPE for this sustainability model, we have the sustainable development technical section with over 1,000 members. So I encourage you to look at their site, which really is extremely interesting because they are covering so many issues related to sustainability. We also have the CCUS technical section, which has now been going on for almost a decade. And we are working with other societies to advance carbon management. And we are establishing, in the same way that we have established the PRMS, we are establishing a storage resource management system, which will allow the world to have a consistent framework for evaluating CO2 storage capabilities. We also have a geothermal technical community, and we are working with other societies to advance geothermal. One very important initiative is the SPE Gaia program, and I will strongly encourage you to go to the SPE resources. It's an incredible program, and we have champions now around the world to have a new framework for sustainability. We call it Gaia. We are very pleased to have Zahraa with us, who's been chairing the D&I committee, and I will just say a couple of words on that. And then we have also the Business Management and Leadership Committee, which is helping our members develop their non-technical skills. And we have heard, for instance, from the Schlumberger colleagues, how to write CVs. We have also activities in the negotiation, in the communication, and so on. So that has been very active now for several years. I just want to say a couple of words on the D&I, but certainly Zahraa will be expanding on that. The D&I committee has taken on from the Women in Energy that was established in 2016, and it was the D&I was launched in 2020. And actually, Zahraa was the first chair of the new committee. We have something like 56 groups, but this number actually may be higher within the different sections and the and chapters. So I just want to mention what you as members and student members should be doing to promote diversity in the energy. This is extremely important. You should serve as a role model. You should participate in the D&I groups within your section and chapters. Participate in structures that promote diversity at all levels within your organization. And I want to highlight all levels. That starts from the entry level into the top levels. This is very important for the sustainability of diversity initiatives. And then you should contribute by taking actions that facilitate work-life balance, and especially for women. We have different needs, requirements, and we all have to be wary of what it means. So I just wanted to end up by saying the vision of what the future of the oil and gas industry professional, and then I'm using some of the thoughts with Professor Roland Hamp. If we look at it in terms of the petroleum engineering skills and knowledge, these are many of the fields and domains that our professionals are currently required to have, from G&G, from reservoir engineering to economics, to HSNE, and also managing complexity and managing risk. The second one, moving into the new sustainable model, is related to a better understanding of the global energy systems, CCUS and geosequestration, renewable energy efficiency, hydrogen with all the colors, whether it's green, blue, or gray, hydrogen, power generation, electrification, CSR, and artificial intelligence and data analytics. And then the third one is on soft skills and knowledge, and resilience is very important, along with the ability to work in multidisciplinary teams and do remote teamwork, which was required during the pandemic. And so, using a quotation from Professor Hamp, petroleum engineering has always been an unusual mix of topics. That mix will continue to change to meet current and future needs. We have announced in May this year the exploration of a merger of the American Association of Petroleum Geologists with the SPE. AEPG has been in existence for more than 100 years, and we have had in the past very successful collaboration, working together on OTC, IPTC, ERTEC, and PRMS. And this merger is reflecting the increased levels of integration of multidisciplinary teams in our own world, in our universities, in our companies, where we have geologists, geophysicists, and engineers working together in teams. So we are saying, okay, we have so much to share, and we are looking at this potential merger as a way of accelerating our efforts to engage in new disciplines in CCUS, in hydrogen, in geothermal. And so we have the opportunity to shape together the largest energy-related professional society, and we hope that by the first quarter of 2022, we will go to the membership votes on this very important initiative. So with that, thank you very much for your attention. And again, congratulations to all of you that have made such a wonderful event.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamal Ben Nasser. I think if I had to sum up what you have told us today, actually surprised me, because I didn't expect that you come up with your plan of the whole year. And we're really glad from our region and our university that you graced us with this opportunity to listen to your plans. We know that COP26 is to happen next month. And as a young leader, I believe all my colleagues were really much excited to see the outcome, because we believe that's our future. We're really also excited to know that, give us a lot of hope to know that 56% of the energy mix is still oil and gas. It gives a lot of hope for us petroleum engineering students to see that we still have a chance in the oil and gas industry. We know that SPE Gaia is really championing around the world, and I encourage my colleagues, my collaborators, as well as the collaborating chapters and sections to start our own sections and our own department for Gaia and DNI so we can move together in diversity and inclusion. Finally, I would like to talk, I think, on behalf of all of us, that I think the APG merger with SPE is a great initiative, because we believe that it will not only increase the members, but it will increase the multidisciplinary interaction for our chapters. With that, I would like to really thank you very much on behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of my mentors, for taking really much of your time to join us today on this important closing ceremony marking the 5 weeks of Saturday for SPE. With that, I would like to ask everyone before Mr. Kamal leaves, because I believe you have other commitments to attend. Let's take a screenshot to make this event memorable before everyone logs off. Thank you very much, Mr. Kamal, and you're free to say anything if you would like to close something. This is your time. Shukran.
Thank you very much, Abdallah. Shukran. Merci beaucoup. Terima kasih. I think it's a great pleasure to be with all of you, and certainly look forward to seeing you either physically or virtually during this year. And please stay safe. Make sure that everybody around you get vaccinated, and certainly we hope that we will have a very successful recovery.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will ask the technical team to have a countdown for us before you take a picture. Jirva, are you there?
Thank you, Mr. Kamal, for your today's gracious presence. Hopefully, you will arrive safe in your next meeting. I'm sure it will be virtually very, very safe.
Yeah, actually, I'm in Philadelphia because we are celebrating the 150th anniversary of the AIME, which is our mother society.
Right. Okay. Good. We are all craving for physical.
Siad, you ready?
Yeah. Let's get everyone. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamal, again.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Noor, for your time.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Abdullah and team. Thank you, Fatin.
So right now we'll move to the DNI session. I will ask Mariam again if you can please share your screen. So that was all for the keynote speeches. We heard from Mr. Anwarudin and Mr. Kamal. Right now we'll move to the DNI session that will be presented by Zahraa Alkalby. So Mariam, next. So Zahraa Alkalby is a petroleum engineer at TotalEnergies with 5 years of experience working in the oil and gas industry on a variety of operational projects. She holds an MSc in reservoir evaluation and management from Hewlett-Packard University, and MSc in petroleum engineering from Imperial College in London, Imperial College is one of our collaborators for this year. She's an active member of SPE International and held several volunteering positions within SPE on local and international level. She's a strong advocate for diversity and inclusion, expanding her efforts from advocating for gender diversity, serving in Women in Energy International, and to the International Scheme of Diversity and Inclusion. She's the 2020 recipient of the Society of Petroleum Engineers North Sea Young Members Outstanding Service. With that, I would like to welcome you, Zahraa Alkalby. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction, Abdullah. Just give me a few seconds to share my screen, to share the presentation I have today. Let me know if you can see it well now.
Yes, we can. You can go on presentation mode. Yes, perfect.
Okay, so hello everyone again. So I will be presenting Diversity and Inclusion Committee, all of general overview of who we are, what we are doing, what's our mission and vision, and how can you be involved on a local level or international level to be part of what we are trying to do. So diversity and inclusion, as Mr. Kamel mentioned before, initially started as Women in Energy back in 2016. So here's a bit of our historical background, starting as Women in Energy back in 2016 with the main goal to elevate gender diversity within oil and gas industry. And within 4 years, we managed to reach out to different sections and chapters around the globe and have a representation of women in energy in section and chapters around 56 internationally. And again, this number is as snapshot that's at the end of 2020. Now with the DNI, we managed to reach even more. And I will explain a bit further about where you can find more details about that on our website. By the end of it, moving from end of 2020 after ATCE, usually it will be a rollover from the committee to the new year. We managed to get the approval of our proposal to expand it from women in energy to broaden our horizon to talk about diversity and inclusion topic in general, and that was happened after ATCE 2020. So when we did that, we didn't want to start from scratch because we still uphold to our mission and vision regarding, supporting women, because we still believe that's one of the main topics of the DNI, gender diversity, especially in oil and gas industry. So we continue with having our initial platform, but we expanded it from that by rebranding ourselves as a DNI. Now you may ask a question, why we take this move in the first place? I will just reflect on what we just saw, the video that was shared. And you can see it's an example of how diverse the SPE community in general around the globe. We have people from different backgrounds. You can see that everywhere, regardless. If you are working in the workplace, usually you have people from different backgrounds you will work with. You will very rarely be working with people or from your background in the workplace. As same as now you can see it from even people with academia. Studying abroad on different places. So it's something, it's inherited, it's there. We just needed to shed some light on it. And one of the things that we noticed being, serving under Women in Energy for the past 4 years is that we come across a lot of topics where there is a form of intersectionality in it. What I mean by that is you can be a woman where you can talk about, gender gap, in representation of women in the industry, but at the same time, those women themselves can have another layer of a diversity challenge and inclusion challenge. Can be from them being of a specific minority, or they can be having a certain disability. So that was a very eye opener for us that we really need to talk about other topics of diversity and inclusion and broaden our horizon. That was the main motivator for us to take the next step and say, let's talk about diversity and inclusion in general, and also to reach out to a larger audience as well. It was clear that Women in Energy, when we talk, we're open to invite all male and female to be part of the discussions, but in one way or another, you realize that it will end up being women talking to women only. And that was sad to say, but very few men were eager to be part of this conversation. So that was the main motive for us of trying to come up with a proposal to move to diversity and inclusion. And I'm glad to say that I see a great shift and change in audience and people, interested in talking about DNI after this, this step we made after ATCE 2020. So next, I will talk a bit more about, and Mr. Kamel, he already explained that, about our vision, what we are trying to do here with diversity and inclusion. So our commitment is, our vision is to advance SPE commitment to diversity and inclusion within our community in oil and gas. And we do that through main 3 channels. We are by advocacy about the topic, by collaboration, by education. So we want to try our best to make people aware of what's the main topics of DNI, what's the main challenges, or what they can do about it, to make to feel more belonging and feel more inclusive in their environment. And how we are planning to, make that vision happen, we have main 5 mission points. So first, we continue upholding to the legacy of Women in Energy Standing Committee. In a sense, we continue promoting women leadership, representation, and recognition for women achievement within SPE. As I said before, the oil and gas industry is one of the lowest industry representation of women, and retaining women for over the career lifetime. So this is still one of the pillars that we continue working on, and that was one of the main concerns of some of the section and chapters who are very active as a women in energy. That when we said we were moving to DNI, they were a bit concerned that we have to stop all our activities. And I emphasize, no, you don't. You will tackle more topics as well. You still continue doing all what you plan to do and all your sponsorship, because this is still one of the main topics we have. Second point of our mission is we want to provide a platform to share the idea about diversity and inclusion. And I think we managed to do that a lot through establishing different social media platforms for diversity and inclusion when we are trying to educate about topic in DNI, and as well. And if you come up and if you go and attend or have a look at our, for example, LinkedIn platform, you will see we encourage audience to share their experiences, to start a conversation about DNI, especially we raise awareness about diversity, but we really want to know more about what challenges of inclusivity and what can be done, to make things better. The third point is we want to support local SPE section and chapters, and we do that in the creation of, and maintenance of diversity and inclusion committee locally. If you think you want to have a more of an event of a DNI and you want support, we're more than happy to do that. And we did that, and that was one of the main reason we managed to expand to even more than 65 section and chapter globally. Fourth is to collaborate, support, and advise on topic related to diversity and inclusion. And we do that through different platforms. We do it within SPE by, talking to all different section and chapters. And we do that outside SPE as well by talking to organizations or speakers who are like-minded, who will talk about the topic of the DNI to raise awareness about it. So we do that from these both channels. Last but not least, we are committed to promote diversity and inclusion in science, technology, engineering, and math, which is abbreviated to STEM. So these are the main points that brief our DNI committee mission. Next, who we are. So this is just to bear in mind, this is like the structure as of last year. The new organization structure should come up in the next couple of weeks. However, there will not be maybe the main phases. Many of the main phases will still there, but just the positions might rotate. So I was chairing it for last year. This year, Linda Batalora, she will be chairing the DNI. What I'm trying to convey from this slide is to say that we are, as a DNI, we are really working to foster a productive relationship between us as an international committee and all the section and chapters, and to ensure that there is an uphold for a DNI mission and vision, and as well as we are recognizing, and that's why we always get the question, what topics we need to talk about in our local section and chapter, and we always say, better, your region better, your country better, what kind of the main themes that of a DNI you think it's really important to start a conversation about. We know that there is a general themes generally. For example, we have, women representation. We have support of people with limited mobility, with a disability, and other like topics. But in each region, each country, better which kind of topics you want to shed the light on, and we give you full freedom to do that. So generally, from the organization chart, we have a leadership team, which is the chair, deputy chair, and the previous chair of the committee, and we have mainly 4 teams. So you can see from each one. I don't know if you can see my slide. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah, we can see your mouse, but maybe you can
that's good.
Put a laser.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so for each column will show us a team. So generally we are 4 main teams. We have an external outreach team, or you can say it external relation team, led by Leila Hamza, and we have internal relation team, which is team. I will explain a bit more about what each team is doing in the next slide. And we have ATCE team, and we have our social media team. Each team led by a member of the committee, and we have volunteers under that team. So that's generally on who we are, our structure. Next, I will explain slightly a bit more, just in a high level, what each of these teams are main objectives or what they are trying to do. So for our internal outreach team, it's mainly focused on looking within SPE and to see how we can reach to all SPE section and chapters internationally. So we do provide support and guidance for existing one section and chapter to transition to DNI. And I say that because we already have 56 section and chapters. We cannot force them to move to DNI, but we start a conversation telling them more about what's the DNI mission and vision, and how they can broaden their activities. So we had a long milestone, come across last year doing that, but we maybe still have a few section and chapters here and there we still need further communication with. But we encourage as well establishing new DNI committees for, section and chapters which they do not have. And we also want to build and maintain an international network through DNI international webinars. And this is, I will explain a bit more. We are trying to bring all the section and chapters to see all the activities they are doing and to have all of us, connected together. Next, our external outreach team, and this is external outreach with all activities related externally to SPE. So we reach out for like-minded, and we can do it from people who are actually serving part of SPE or from the industry for collaboration and partnership. And here we are targeting to have talk about diversity and inclusion through webinars, a workshop, and similar events. Our ATCE team is responsible for, planning, securing, going through all the requirements to make sure we can secure a slot at the ATCE. As many of you may be aware, it's not something granted for us as a committee, it's something we need to work toward. Usually before the entire pandemic and lockdown, as a part of Women Energy, we used to have like 2 slots a year. For this year, we managed to secure 1 because of the limitation of, in-person activities. But we managed to secure 1 slot for our ATCE event, and I might, share some photos from there. And as I'm speaking about the presentation, we are working on something. It's not there yet, but it's which is securing an award or recognition for DNI champions. And this is what we mean is we are trying to do it either targeted or to section and chapters who are very active, talking about DNI topics. Last team, but not least, our social media team, responsible for the visibility of the activities it's not only about the committee, international committee, but as well supporting all the section and chapters with their activities, especially if it's an inauguration of a new a committee and they need some support, as well as we encourage to talk more about the topics, raising awareness. So you see every week we share some topic, usually a new topic about DNI, an article talking about that topic and raising some awareness about it. So these are mainly the 4 teams and what their main objectives is they're trying to do throughout the year. Next, I will go through some example of the events that happened last year or the years before as a part of WIN. We'll still keep the momentum to have that happen still, and we want to expand a bit more just to give you a flavor of what we did. And I can mention as we go, like who was mainly the organizer, which of these teams. So here's for an example is the event. We do events part of the major SPE conferences. And I'm saying that part of from ATCE because ATCE, we have a dedicated team to do that. So for example, we had here an example of inauguration of SPE Women Energy Aberdeen Section happened back in part of Offshore Europe conference back in 2019 in the UK. Where it was the first time they're integrating the women in energy and they needed some support, and it was a very good event. So I know now everything in the last 2 years, things are majorly virtual, but this is something we look again to do. And we are working now on having another event in offshore Europe for the in-person persons, which will be in the next February 2022. Another example is we have, for example, inauguration for SPE Lagos DNI event. It happened this year, and it was a really interesting event. And they have a lot of 2-panel discussions as well, since it's virtual. Next, this is a quite interesting thing we started this year, and I've seen all the section and chapters. We had a very, very positive feedback that led us to do it again and again. Because at the start, it was just we were planning to do it once. But because we had a very good feedback from all section and chapters, we decided to do that on a regular basis, which is diversity and inclusion town halls. These town halls now will be held on a quarterly basis. And all the section and chapters will have an invitation to participate. The main goal is for these events is to showcase all the section and chapters, what they are doing about DNI, what activities they have, what support they might be needed. And then it will be a very good opportunity for all the new section and chapters to listen to others and get inspired, and as well as to have a room for them to communicate and collaborate. And we have that happening live during the sessions when there are several section and chapters decided that we want to have a collaboration session because, for example, our section is small and we do not have much of support, etc. So it was a very good session, and we decided to keep that going and to have a record of all our sessions. Usually we do that over 2 different time slots, and the main goal for doing that is to make sure that we are capturing the entire world, so we have as many attendees as we can from different section and chapters. So that's why we usually do it on over 2 time slot over the same day. Here is just an example of just a screenshot of different presentation through one of the town halls. And the topics can vary. For example, you can have, I think this is for Texas A&M committee DNI committee, where they were sharing about activity they did, where each member of the class, they brought their own traditional food, and they were sharing food, and they're discussing about, how they cook it, and the story behind it. So it was a very good, culturally rich exercise. Another section and chapters may talk about more professional plans, for example, getting sponsorship, to have a mentorship program, etc. So you will see a lot of, you get inspired a lot of activities, and it's something we continue doing. We managed to do 3, if I remember, so far, and we will continue doing that. The last town hall we had is just a few weeks ago, and the goal for that town hall was to help all section and chapters to set a plan for the upcoming year. And we picked some of section and chapters who were successfully managed to do that last year to give us some of the lessons. So this is something I would really encourage you to have a look at. If you want to establish DNI, or you already have it and you want some of the inspiration, you have a record of all of that. Next, this is an example of external collaborators. For example, this is an SPE live talk, which took place on Women's Day. And it was, co-hosted by World Petroleum Council, where they share some of their data about, representation of a woman as a part of their report. And it was a really very interesting discussion about, choose to challenge, which was the theme for this year, Women's Day. And we planned as well for last July another session. You can find more details. I will show you at the end where to find more details about all the events that we managed to do internally and external to SPE. Last but not least, this is a very fresh screenshot from our session. We had an ATCE this year. It was just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago to be precise. So this is our flagship event for this year. This year it was a kind of hybrid. So you can see here we have our moderator and 2 of our speakers in person in Dubai, and we have 2 of our speakers attending virtually. It was something new to do it because the year before we did it fully virtual, but I will consider it a success considering the constraints we have now. And hopefully for the next year it will be back to normal, and we have a more than one session in person. The next one may maybe shed some light about the room of collaboration we had across SPE. So this year we managed to have a lot of communication with other committees, international committees with SPE for collaboration. Some of the work is still ongoing. Some already managed to do it. For example, we had a collaboration with Business Management and Leadership Committee, and we already on our website we are sharing a very interesting survey they did about diversity and inclusion at workplace, as well as they did a very interesting article about the topic. So we are collaborating with them to share any of the work they are doing. And in the future, we might look to have a webinar, by collaboration between PML and DNI. Also, we had a lot of collaboration with the YMEC, Young Member Engagement Committee. We have a presence in, virtual career pathways to talk about the DNI, importance of the DNI in workplace. We starting just now with the Gaia. So there is a representation of a DNI person, committee member within a Gaia sustainability program. We are starting some work. It's not yet there, but the communication to start something is already there. Also, we have some interesting communication with the Education and Credential Committee, and was mainly about the topic related to the need for SPE to have a more of a measurable results about. We want to talk about DNI, but we want to have numbers related to DNI, especially if you want to talk about DNI in SPE. As a SPE member, how diverse SPE is and what can be improved. And we need numbers, and we know there is some kind of difficulties because of a lot of policies to acquire some of the data. So this is something maybe we start a conversation on, and I hope it will be more fruitful for DNI in EAC to have a more data that can help lead what they want to do. Next. Here is an example of just some of the topics we talked about in our social media and our attempt to raise awareness about DNI topic. So you see, and myself included, I learned a lot about that because sometimes you know main themes of DNI, but maybe you do not know many others. I'm here just, you can see here an example of many different themes. We know all maybe about unconscious biases. Maybe not everyone knows about ageism and the fact that people in different age can be having, undergo different sense of inclusivity challenge, whether they are very young or they are very senior in their career. And so you can go through it, and you will have regular awareness sessions held in place. And this is what we continue doing since establishment of DNI. And this is great work done by our social media team. Next, and the important thing is, okay, I heard all about the mission and vision and what you guys are doing. How can I be involved? Like, what is it for me in the entire presentation? As Mr. Kamil said already, he mentioned that, you can always be a role model, and you take that as a responsibility for you, to raise awareness about the DNI, to educate maybe your colleagues about your culture, and to get to know, have an open mind to listen from others with the least judgment as you can. Within SPE as well, you can, I would say from us, you can establish a SPE DNI committee in your section and chapter if you don't already have one. If you have one, it's really great to be active and part of it. Also, we welcome sharing a DNI success stories. I know it's rich by default, and each one of us, they have their own story they might want to share. You can do it on our website, by being active and commenting on our post, or as well if you want us to, be part of our webinars or DNI featuring town halls. We welcome as well speakers for webinars, workshops, and you can be a DNR general volunteer, either in your local section and chapter. We welcome international as well, because sometimes we have some tasks in there and we need some second-hand support for it, and it will be great to have someone who's, interested to do that. And to help us, feature DNI hot topics at your region, that will be great. And I can recall maybe last time we had a session for South America, and it was a very interesting a DNI quiz. I personally learned a lot from it because maybe I was not very familiar with their culture. It was very interesting and very, fun education, I would say. And we also welcome sharing ideas, recommendation. If you think we can do things better, if you want to suggest us to do something else, we welcome that. I mean, feel free to email us anytime you like. In return, if you want to be part of a DNI committee and you take a responsibility to be part of it, we expect in return for you to have availability, especially when we talk about the DNI International Committee, if you want to be part of it, because can be a bit heavy, especially when we just started the committee. So we were looking for availability of the person who want to take, be part of it, and also to have an active participation. So here I'm having a link for, I'm sure you know about it, which is where you can find volunteering opportunities. Usually it's published early in the year. It's open until end of March, and there you will find more about available slots for being part of DNI International Committee. Next, if you listen to now and you say, well, I think we don't have a DNI committee and I'm interested to know more about how can I establish a new one, we welcome you to do that. We're looking forward to have, plan and organize DNR programs activities on your local, level. And we're looking from you to make sure that you are, upholding to DNI programs of mission and vision. And we would encourage you to have a more of good connection with the DNI International Committee. As I said, we can help you as well with the promoting for the event and provide you any support if you're a bit lost in the start from where to start. I will share just now after the presentation where to find more guidelines. It's a more few pages document. It's available on the SPE website, where you can download it and have a look on how you can establish it from scratch and give you a bit of support. For example, it can give you even it's an example of organizational chart if you want to start it, how many people you want to have in your committee, and to give you some guidelines on how roles and responsibilities. Again, we give usually the section chapters the freedom to, it's not something they have to do it. They just give them a starting point, and they will be free to expand it or reduce it a bit, depending on what they find suitable. Lastly, this is maybe I encourage you to take a screenshot of it. This is our main contact details. You can find us on LinkedIn. We are active. Also, our platforms. We have on Facebook, on Twitter. And this is our email, diversityandinclusion@spe.org. Also, if you're active on SPE Connect, you can see all our posts there as well. Maybe next time, this will be marked the end of my presentation, but next I will prefer to show you, for example, where our website, because recently we managed to have in addition to our committee definition website, we have our own website for DNI as a part of SPE, so it will be very good to share it with you. So let me know if you can see my screen well, and you can see the website.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is.
I think we can see the website.
Okay, because I think I shared. Let me try to share again, because I think I shared only the PowerPoint before, so it's not.
Yes, now we can see.
Can you see now? Good. So this is I shared two. If you take a screenshot of the, and I'm more than happy to share it again. I shared two links. So this is spe.org/English diversity. So this is a new website we have as a part of SPE, and here you can have a look about. For example, this is a link for our ATC event. So if you have access to ATC, you still can go and maybe have a look at the record of the session in demand. And also we have here, you can see a record of the main DNI records. For example, this is a record by our external outreach team led by Leila about diversity and inclusion. And in addition to that, there is some SPE live talks related to DNI topic. Also, you can see here some access to some of the publications related to DNI. You can have a look at it as well as link to our main social media. So this is the first link. The other link we have, which is about our committee, where you can know more about our mission and vision, who we are. And there's a very interesting addition to the page, if you know it from before, which is this map. So this map, it's a live map. It shows you where we have DNI presence around the world, where in each country where the section and chapters and the link to their social media, if their social media is available. So it can give you a very good a sense of where else we need DNI presence, I might move to the map and try to show you. Hope it not take too long. If you can see my screen well, you can see, for example, you have in each zone, in each country, for example, you may have one or more. I don't know it's not showing well because it should show a number as well. For example, in some countries, you have like, for example, in Nigeria, we have 5 different sectional chapters, and you can see where they have a DNI. Unfortunately, some countries we do not have a DNI presence, so maybe that's to give you it's open to access on our page, and so you can have a look and see if your country or your region need a presentation. So that can be a starting point from you. We are planning to reach as many as we can in the meantime. So this is something you can find on our social on our SPE. Diversity and inclusion page. In addition, what you can find, which is something new we have now, we have an Instagram account. We're still working on it to have in the future, some live sessions maybe over Instagram, as well as you can have access to the guidelines I mentioned earlier. You can just click on that and you can have a few pages of guideline how to establish DNI committee. We have as well, this is a new as well, which is SPE Vimeo account, which is similar to YouTube. Here it will serve as an archive where you can, if you missed any of the sessions or town halls we held, you always can go and see it on your own time. I don't know, for some reason my internet is not the best, but for example, here all the town halls we have. And you can see we have in April, and we have another one in June, and this is the last one. So if you want to have a more inspiration about how to plan your sessions, you can maybe consult this one. And this is just the start. I think after a few years, you will have this one very crowded with a lot of records. So yes, this is just what I want to share with you today. I hope I didn't spend so much time, and I welcome any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zahraa, for enlightening us on diversity and inclusion. And I think you have got a good crowd. I think a lot of people are inspired by the work you're doing. Already got someone who contacted me to ask how they can have this in their chapter. So I'll connect with them later after the event. So right now, we'll welcome a few questions, before we pass to the closing remarks. If there's no question, well, I have one question, and I think you know it already. I saw your organization chart and we talk about diversity and inclusion, but there are a lot of ladies around there. I see only one man.
Indeed. So this is the question. It's always a question I get all the time. I present this organizational chart. One thing to highlight, the thing maybe you are aware of, the new committee, usually the selection of new committee will happen this way. Early in the year, you will announce there's a positions available. You get application up to end of March of that year. And then around, July of that year, you will start collecting people to come to join to the committee. And then after ATCE, you will be rolling out to the new committee. So this has happened. So if you remember 2020, and one thing, as I mentioned before, when we were part of Women Energy, our application pool, we didn't have many of men. Unfortunately, very few. And Gary was one of the few who stick with us along the few years now. It was because of that we didn't really have at the time, because at the time we went doing the proposal to be diversity and inclusion, we're still women in energy. So just bear that in mind. The whole thing happened after ATCE 2020. Our committee was mainly women. And again, that's one of the main reasons we try to, talk more about DNI topic and not just to be very stick to women talking to a woman. So that's why we're all women. And in addition to that is like, is like the whole, what we are trying to do is to encourage more men to come. And I think this is the good news, because the application for this year, we managed to see almost this is a general thing to say, is like half of the applicants we have almost men compared to the years before. And although we can say, okay, well, for now we have all the women, but if you have a close look at the diversity of background of women who are serving in the committee, you will see a very diverse committee, because this is one of the things we tried to do. And even for 2020, when selecting the committee, we tried to have women from different backgrounds, from different regions. And by looking at the chart, you will see that they are very diverse. I mean, diverse in age, people from academia, people from the industry, people from different regions. It's not only from one regions. We try to take it to, like, we have it from China, we have, like, from myself from Middle East, we have from Europe, from Africa, from everywhere. But yeah, again, this is something we look to have a more proper representation for the upcoming years. But bear in mind as well that, the current committee, they have a tenure of 2 to 3 years, so you cannot just kick them out and say we are changing everyone. But they did great. They did great. And they are very diverse. Apart from gender diversity, something will come with the next 1 to 2 years for sure.
Thank you very much for the good explanations. For the interest of time, I think we're almost over time. But I think Mr. Bior, you have a question.
Thank you, Abdallah, and thank you, Engineer Zahraa. Actually, part of my question is answered toward the end of your talk. But what I wanted to inquire was, when you talk about diversity, it always has to do whether it is gender-based diversity or it is race-based. But because having in mind before, when you start talking about this was born out of women and energy, and now it becomes diversity. Women and men can be in the same, what do you call it? Not association, because this is under SPE already. So when you talk that you are having people coming from China, coming from Middle East, Africa, and all that, then the diversity in terms of race is already answered there. And this question would come up in the mind of somebody who might have not known about women in energy. And then you are now ventured into diversity and inclusion. So diversity and inclusion would also mean male and female, or race and gender, something like that. So I think that's what I wanted. And sometime maybe you can clarify that. If that is what you didn't think about, you only talk about gender, it would be very good to clear out at front before other people start to ask you, what inclusion do you mean? Thank you.
Thank you. And as I mentioned before, this is one of our main goal. The D&I topic is very broad, and we all learn about it. I mentioned earlier that each one of us, if I ask you, I ask Abdullah, I ask each one of us to tell me what's the 3 top D&I challenges you think that are there. You will always, for me, I would say always, for example, women and the presentation of women, because I do have my personal experience about importance of that one. But I'm aware each location, each person, each one of us, they have their own challenges. As you said, it can be related to race, it can be related to, for example, say the nationality, background, language said, people with disability. Each one of us, they have their own, let's say, priority of the top 3, and each region as well have that. What we try to do is, as I said, initially, because we didn't have much applicant, we try to have the diversity of backgrounds, the diversity of age. Usually you cannot tick all the points, because you have so many lists of diversity, but you try to be tentative when we select the applicant. Oh, we need people from academia, we need people who are young, we need people who are senior or mid-career, we need people from different regions to cover different ones. At least this is what I think we covered very well for the initial committee. And as I said, there's always room for improvement, and we welcome any comments or telling us that there is something need to be improved.
Thank you, Zahraa. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Bior. Lastly, I think my colleague Fatin, you raised your hand. You have a question?
Hey, hi, Zahraa. Can you hear me? Yeah? Hi. Interesting D&I section. I don't have any questions, but I can see that there is no D&I section in Malaysia. And I would like to be connected with you to create a DNI section. Yeah.
For sure. I might share. I don't know if you take screenshot. Otherwise, I can share it later on the chat. The email, our DNI email, and this is a monitored email by SPE. Please feel free just to reach out with us, and we're more than happy to support you to establish that. And yes, you're right. As far as I know, and I can double check in our database, is that we do not have a DNI committee in Malaysia yet. But it will be great to be starting this momentum.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say hi to you soon after. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Zahra. So I'd like, first of all, to thank you for taking your time also to come present about DNI. Also, thank you for your patience. I know the closing ceremony was a bit longer than expected. I hope you enjoyed the few sessions. And I would like to request you to remain for more, like about 10 minutes. I would like to introduce my faculty advisor, Ms. Harvin Kaur, would like to give the vote of thanks for the closing of the ceremony. I see Mr. Kamel is still around, so I think it's a good opportunity for us to close with in beauty. Mr. Harvin, the floor is yours. Ms. Harvin, sorry. Diversity inclusion.
Hi, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Abdullah. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody, wherever you are from all parts of the world. All right. Thank you so much for actually allowing me to give the vote of thanks. And without further delay, let's begin with it. Yeah. So I only have 1 or 2 slides I just want to share, and I want to give my appreciation to everyone who has contributed, everyone who has given all their energy, time, effort, into putting this event together. All right. Okay. So the first appreciation, of course, goes to all keynote speakers. So, of course, we have our Prof. Tom Blessingame. We have Mr. Kamal. Thank you, Mr. Kamal, for actually, willingly join us today for the event and, sharing so much of knowledge and insight that even I learned a lot of things today. And then thank you to Mr. Mohamed Abu Bakar, Prof. Vinesh from APU, and of course, Mr. Anwar. Yeah, Mr. Anwar has basically been the backbone for all this. So thank you very much, Mr. Anwar. Right. The next appreciation goes to all speakers, all the speakers that have given their time and, sharing their knowledge with all of us. So first thing is Dr. Tony Edwards, Mr. Zamri Ghani, T.S. Ismail Irshad, Mr. Saif, Mr. Muhammad Al-Farsi, Ms. Suhail Diaz, Mr. Han Jumchua, Dr. Luigi, Mr. Rafiq, and of course, Ms. Zahra. Ms. Zahra, thank you for the very, very informative session today.
Thank you very much.
And of course, definitely, the last is the appreciation to all the collaborators for this wonderful event. Thank you, SPE KL Young Professionals. Without you guys, we really, really are so happy that we have collaborated with you guys, because this is something that we also learned and looking forward to collaborating in future again. University of Aberdeen, thank you. University of Nigeria, SPE Sultan Qaboos University, SPE Institute Technology 10 November, SPE Imperial College London, SPE North Emirates Section, SPE University Islamic Riau, SPE IIT Dhanbad, and UPES SPE SC. Not forgetting SPE APU student section. All right. If I have missed out anyone unintentionally, please do accept my apologies. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for a wonderful event. And I would like to pass the floor on to Abdullah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Harvin. I think whatever needed to be done is already done. I would like also on my behalf to thank all our collaborators, to thank all our speakers and all the audience for attending and being present in all the series of Saturday. So what's left for now, I think we should take a screenshot, a picture of all of us before we leave the session. Ms. Harvin, I would ask you to stop sharing the screen.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, that's great. It's really great to see that Mr. Kamel is still around with us. Thank you for staying.
I really need that 1 minute. Hold on a minute. Huh? I gotta put up myself. Let me see. I'm parked now. On a Bluetooth mode. Hold on.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Maybe I'll give the last word to Mr. Kamel before you go.
You know, this type of event makes you very proud of our society and very proud of our members. So congratulations to the team. You have done such a wonderful job, and I wish you all the best. And if you want to contact me anytime, you know where to reach me is president@spe.org, and I'll be happy to answer any question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamel, and thank you everyone for attending. See you in the next series of Saturday for SPE. Bye. Thank you, Zahraa, also.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great weekend and stay safe.
Your own joy. Enjoy the weekend and be safe. Look forward to see you all again.
You too, Anwar.
Take care.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all the hard work. Like what Harvin mentioned, each and every one of you, each and every chapter that is involved in Section Emirates as well. Thank you.
I'm going to miss everyone. I'm going to miss the event and everyone too.
Thank you, Fatin, Aziz, and Abdullah and your team. You have been always there to support almost all the programs from the start to the end.
Recording stopped.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Fatin. Very great.